did go to film school. Yep. So what was driving you to go back to film school? Because at the time, I think you were doing some internships on some features, or you were acting in features.
Yes, so a lot of people don't know that. I had this whole side of me that with filmmaking and stuff like that. So I just really got interested when I was around the people in the film departments at college and stuff. When I was doing theater, I started to minor also in broadcast media. And so that was as closest to where I was studying that you could get to film. And just showing up in videos, keeping an eye on everything. But I always had more of a producer kind of mindset, because I love to be able, I don't know what it is, but I have a connective mind. And so that's where I love to play as well, very hard, because I start to know so many people, and I have such a network. I realized that I was just too much fun to say, like, I just know so many people well enough on either end, and I'm like, man, I felt like a Southern grandmother. Like, they should meet, you know, like, and it really was just fascinating to get unlocked in that arena. So producing and having a gauge on writing and the types of projects that I would eventually want to be in, and so you have to realize that point. Certainly as a strategy as an actor, but not as much as I get to a point where I don't even necessarily feel the need to act, but as long as I'm a part of projects, whether it's acting, whether it's both filmmaking, anything that hosts something more than itself, if that makes sense. That's what I gravitate towards. I want to be a part of the real special stuff.
Yeah, and I want to show. I'm going to show a little bit later. I want to show kind of a mashup of some of not all of the things, but some of the things that are within time limit that you produced. But then tell us, before we do that, what's the story about how you got into film school, or didn't get into film school?
Oh yeah, this is fun.
I like this.
So in college, you know, there's a whole avenue of how I actually ended up starting into theater and getting into acting, and daunting into that without my parents or anybody like actually knowing. I just was like, you know what, I'm going for it. And then like calling my parents up 2 weeks out of the play and being like, hey, I'm gonna play. You wanna come? And they're like, what? Because they didn't know I had to struggle with studies back then and stuff like that. And they're just like, yeah. And well, sure enough, I got a theater scholarship and all these things. One thing led to the next. I was getting into film as well. And so my friend Nathan at the time, he goes, hey, you know, there's this program you can go study that our school is affiliated with. You can go to LA to study for a semester, etc. I'm like, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do that. And then I applied and I did not get in, and it was just because of academia. And I was like, I'm going, and I just kept telling everybody and nobody knew I didn't get accepted, but I'm like, oh, I'm going. And then I just told the person that told me no, I'm going. And I did, I got peeled. And eventually I went. She was really cool. She's like, all right, this guy's coming whether or not, like he's really gonna just drive out here no matter what. And they did, they let me out. Yeah. And what do you know, I had great grades that semester.
Well, that speaks to, okay, so part of what we want to do here is like show like what are the things that it takes to get to, you know, the next level and what you really want to do. So it sounds like it's don't listen to your naysayers, and just have just like a relentless fervor to pursue the dream.
And the biggest naysayers,
don't take no for an answer.
That's especially from yourself. I think the biggest naysayers are ourselves. You know,
sure.
Because it really doesn't matter what anybody else is saying. You are the dictator of yourself. So the more you start to become, realized of that, it's like, I got the power. It really livens you up. You get stoked because doors. We were just talking about. It's like doors are everywhere. It is Monsters Inc. out there, guys. You can open them up left and right everywhere. It's true.
Yeah, it is. That is great.
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking of Monsters Inc., there were a lot of voice actors in that film, as I recall.
Yeah.
Probably 100% voice actors.
If they weren't, AI was making a early intro.
Yeah, no kidding. So, and your voice acting, when you first got out here, so after you moved out to LA and you're doing your thing, you're basically representing yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you're laying down a lot of material.
Yeah.
And trying to, when working on all of your impressions, your skills, and this isn't voice acting, and then we'll go into the film acting, live action too, but during that time, like, what was it like when you first moved out here? How much were you spending time in the booth and your own booth and your own setup, just working out how to, just hone your impressions and whatever else you were doing, or just, or if I'm off base?
No, you're right.
Whatever
It's
you
like
want.
coming out here, when I finally said, okay, I'm gonna move out to LA, had some clout, if you will, online, with fan film, or not even fan films that were mine yet. I was hopping into other places and but doing impressions and having a place, an arsenal of material out there, awareness, and then you're starting to get these little spots of being able to be like, well, I may as well show off, some production too, like stuff I would produce, or have a chance at to act in, whatever, all things. But for me, when I came out and had access, if you will, I had invites to like places like this, like a VidCon. That's when I really connected hard with the voice world, with getting set up with like Rode microphones, because like they were there and like sponsors and stuff like that, and I was like, hey, what's up? Like, I'm wanting to get into it more. And then sure enough, it's all about just talk, just try it out, just see what's up. And then they were really cool. They felt the energy. They didn't know who I was, really. I was like, I'm a guy online. And they're like, yeah, welcome to the festival. But yeah, getting set up with that first microphone that was of like a little bit more professional, status, I was like, cool, now I've got that. You could go to online places that you didn't have to wait for agents and stuff like that. You could go to Actors Access. And as long as you also just started to keep putting out stuff, don't wait for anyone, just play. Then that was really when things started to, it just kindles up, The more you can get out, the better, I think. And you're just constantly exercising at that point. And that's what I would do, in the booth, I think we have a clip of like,
I'm gonna embarrass you.
through the years, I would just, whether it's gearing up for auditions or just playing, just playing, literally just getting behind the mic and like letting it go, just like Matthew McConaughey floating down that Amazon River, Yeah.
So let's play this little mashup here. And I didn't test the audio, so hopefully this plays through. If not, I have this little speaker. Oh, it doesn't. Keep talking.
But yeah, it's true. It's you get the place to exercise and then kind of watch it yourself too. I mean, I'm kind of funny about things because like I like to like listen back and when I'm watching my my stuff, I don't care. I really never compared outside myself. I was always very aware of where I was, if you will. Like I was like, ooh, I've got a lot to go, or just when I'm starting to get to a better point. It's what always feels good when you connect with your characters strong enough. Now, especially, it was the hardest thing in the world for me to actually, when I took acting a lot more serious, even got off of socials and really, wanted to harness that craft. Hopefully you guys can catch this. But it was really tuning in with myself and being able to pull myself into, playing myself on camera was actually one of the hardest things to ever get to. Even to just be myself in front of peeps and stuff. It was very tough actually. So like it was always an interesting experiment on camera to kind of try to get there.
And let's see some of that experimentation now.
Yeah, this is the fun stuff. Practicing voice work, I would say.
Oh no. Hang on, I gotta change the thing again.
I'll just do it while it plays. I'll just like try to match it.
What was it doing? Could you guys hear that?
No.
I didn't think so.
I'm surprised. Whatever. Oh, here, we can probably hold a microphone up to it.
Something therefore
That working? Yeah. Nice.
you will voice over for them.
Sorry, guys. This is a nightmare.
You give the people of Earth something to live for.
We'll dream about this tonight.
You will voice over for them. You will ADR everything that sounds like Russell Crowe.
The young voice actor is relentless at trying to achieve the voiceover audition.
At Burger King, feed your appetite your way with the Whopper meal deals.
He seems satisfied.
Well, this is old Saint Nick coming at you live from the North Pole. I'm talking to all you reindeer flying around out there, not sure what you're supposed to be doing. Well, I'll tell you exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be right here, hooked up to my sleigh, and that's
Stop and smell for me, hold on. Smell for me, Pop. But I knew doesn't smell on the own I am. And well, I can't figure out why, but I can't get no customers. Figure some of the ability's not there, then I'm out of there. No. She's not a witch. It's, she's my zany Aunt Shabella. Such a crack up she is. Always fooling around, aren't you, Auntie?
This particular lemur likes to say, I like it to move it.
I like to move it. Hey, I think David Attenborough likes to move it.
I think I like to move it.
They're the ones who have been foolish, and we stand to gain. Warriors of Galveston, lay down your arms, and you may keep your lives. There is no blood on my hands.
Sometimes it's just fun being Michael Caine in a voiceover movie. Don't ask me why. George Bush coming at you live in the presidential podcast. I like to do it with my shirt off. It's a little more liberating. I'm all about that.
Be very, very quiet. I'm hunting weapons.
This hologram machine is guaranteed to bamboozle
When
that
Snapchat starts to become a
ridiculous
thing.
rhinoceros.
There's nothing else we can do. Oh, yes, you very much would. Present spirit of Harry Potter. You know, I have glasses too, Harry. You know, I'm supposed to be the other wizard.
Forget it, Neill. I'm not going to steal the Declaration of Independence. Could have been a number of people.
Get this a lot in video games.
You weren't down in that pit, Betty. You didn't see those creatures. They have glowing red eyes and teeth like razors.
So, yeah, dudes, vaping is like way safer than smoking cigarettes. It's sick, bro. For every show. And without that bonding time, well, he won't go out for the show. And then I'm out without a job.
Okay. That was longer than I thought. Hopefully it's...
Yeah, I think we might have audio now.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm just gonna test it on that.
We're gonna make you watch again. No.
Something to live for.
Nice. All right. I won't put you through that again.
Yeah, it was like really fun to document that through the years, and then just again give yourself a space to play, and that's the most important thing. Because if you're not having fun, yes sir.
So what's the, you're starting off recording, what's the best place to record?
What's the...
Like a spot to record.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Oh, he's asking about a place to record. What's the best place?
Oh right, when you're first starting,
Yeah,
you don't
like
have
your own
anything else.
space?
Yeah.
Yeah. My first place was a car in the garage because it was like the only sealed up place, and it was like I got a gig, and I was like, well, I gotta do this, but I didn't have the money to go pay for a microphone at the time and all this stuff. So yeah, I went in the car and hoped for the best, put blankets out, just try to get as quiet as I could. And yeah, they were like, at the time they're like, when you're coming in from one angle, You know, I was getting a lot of that impression stuff. They're like, yeah, we're thinking of Matthew McConaughey kind of thing, Interstellar, you know, whatever. And yeah, I remember going down in the garage to do that and just praying that it was audio okay, you know. They bought it, thankfully. I think they probably messed with it a little bit, but I was like, whew. And then I was able to take that and then level up. And then, so closets, you know, actually your clothes in the closet actually provide a nice, you know, kind of like system for the sound to reverberate and stuff. So like,
To not reverberate.
or yeah, exactly, to like catch it, basically. Think about things that catch the sound and not send it back.
How to provide like a nice rack of shoes that is thermal.
Yeah.
So she was thermal, you know, she was thermal.
Hey man,
Sure.
and
Work with
yeah,
what you got.
you do, and yeah, I think anything that you can do to provide that environment that allows it to be clean. I mean, I remember being in hotel rooms. This is quite often, by the way, when you're traveling, you'll get like hit up to do like, you know, voice auditions or something while you're traveling, and you got to make shift. I mean, I remember watching James Arnold Taylor like on social media. Now we're friends and stuff, but I remember like watching him like he would change out his entire like hotel room. Like he would like lift the mattress up and like corner himself in a room, and like that I was like, and he was doing like Fox, like this week on Fox, all that kind of stuff. That he's the voice for that and stuff. The Simpsons next on Fox or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's
Yeah,
all kinds of techniques of like on the go and on the road.
Yeah, basically just do it is sort of the thing. You know, things get done by those that do them. That's someone extremely intelligent, I think I know, once said that.
That is
And,
a fact.
and yeah, so that's basically been sort of a good summary of your career is just go, do it, aim for what you want to achieve, and then when you're even the same sort of ethos applies when you're in it and you actually are getting auditions, you know, just make sure, do whatever you can to get that through.
Yeah.
And get in front of the people that are gonna be making those decisions, right?
And yeah, and do as much as you can in the spaces that you really feel alive in, because that's your brightest bulb time to be a beacon towards, you know, work. That's what attracts. So I've done the whole routes where you kind of spread yourself thin. You just box shot all over the place with, you know, I'll take anything. I used to have that mentality of like, I could do it all, you know, like, and you try for it all.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you just get a little more in tune with yourself, what you love, what's interesting to you, and then emanate that, if you will, then boom, you'll attract what you emit, I suppose. Yes.
And so what was like the impetus that was the transition from doing self-representing and all that to actually getting to the point where you decided, okay, I'm gonna have an agent and I'm gonna start moving on to the next phase? How did that come about?
Well, people who know I am super like old Harrison Ford about the industry, because I find, and we work together now on solving a lot of these things, but I just noticed I'm very consolidated with my energy. So when I would just throw myself constantly at all these auditions and not get anything back, not even like feedback, I was like, just go create some more stuff of my own. You know, it gave me more energy to go off and just pump out somewhere where at least it was being heard and to get feedback. Because I think that's very constructive. If you know how to take it, you know, you'll have all the ankle biters online, but if you can actually just pay attention to what, you know, they're saying without the negative, you know, jabs or something, you can actually probably make use of them. You're like, thank you guys. And therefore you can generate better material, better quality. But at one point I had a friend, Andrew, he said, hey man, if you ever want, I'm repped. I know you're all about like repping yourself and all that stuff. And I'm not against not rep, you know, if you're not against rep, but I just wasn't sold that they cared as much as I did. Finally I did meet somebody who actually did. And dare I say, has even proved to me he cared more about that avenue than I did. Not necessarily myself in general, but just that avenue. And so yeah, he Dean Pinero talent. Dean was really cool. He could see past the impressions too, and he started to open up the doors to beyond, not just the impressions, but like all the things that were starting to be, you know, it's so much to somebody working up in this industry, which I don't feel like I'm part of the industry, but when you are, you do kind of get a little bit of like, cool, got there, you know, Netflix or a Lucasfilm official kind of, you know, I got to do Yoda for the parks and for toys with Hasbro, and those were just big milestones to me, because now I wasn't doing it in places like How It Should Have Ended, which is like a fun series, you know, to be able to do Obi-Wan on there or something like that. To be able to do it in a more, you know, and it was simultaneous with acting. I wanted to really have a presentable, polished place of, I don't know, like a more dignified place to do these things. So I really, you know, set out with that attitude, and finally started to get a lot of that feedback later on. And some people will notice, and sometimes the right.
Yeah, getting your things in front of the right people, or having things to share, was a big part of your career. Just doing it yourself, obviously, like we talked about, but then actually going out and producing things yourself, writing yourself, producing, acting, just being generative in your career has been a big theme of what you do, and how you know, keep banging down that door, even though, like you said, you really aren't really an adherent to the industry necessarily. You kind of make your own way, pave your own way. That's what we're kind of trying to convey here, is that it's doable. There's so many avenues out there now, and so many ways of making things, and there's so much talent that's just completely untapped. And you have this way about you of always being so generous with your time, and with the way that you interact with your co-stars and with writers and every aspect. You're able to bring people together in a way that many people can't, and people from places where you wouldn't normally expect, non-industry areas, put them together and generate something really special and good and high quality that gets you and everyone involved recognition. So it's another avenue. Tell us a little bit about that, if that wasn't too wordy.
Well, I get the biggest kick in the world when you get something unexpected. Like for me, that's all the excitement, is to like be working on projects that you just, nobody would know is coming. Nobody even is expecting something of high quality. I love just aiming for high quality. I remember getting situated where brand deals were a thing. If you're in the influencer world and stuff like that, you'll have brands that'll approach and be like, hey, well, if you want to promote us on your channels, etc. And I said, you know, I would be very picky about that stuff, because I didn't want to get teased down that trail. But if it aligned, and if the budgets were big enough, I'd love to just say, great, I'm gonna take like 90% of that and try and just like surprise the world with something they just had no idea was coming. And even the companies, they'd be like, whoa, and they would happen where I'd produce these commercials. I didn't ask, I just did it. And then I would produce them just as a push out on my channels. And then, because I was just kind of faking it till you made it kind of thing too. And eventually, some of these companies would say like, can we take that and put it out on our stuff? And I was like, possibly. Let's talk some numbers, you know. But it was real fun to always like, I don't know. I definitely had a season of life where I was just loving the idea of like going a whole nother route, and like carving through the system and finding the kinks and figuring out, you know, to me it's simple. It's like, okay, you can do that, we're friends, we like to hang out, let's go. You know, to me that's so easy to think. But, you know, there's all these other hoops in the industry side of building things that, you know, like, well, what have you done before? Well, if you know somebody can do something, that's all you need. That's all you need. So I love giving people a shot. That's kind of what we're aiming to do, is like together, you know, just launch, you know, people that we know. We don't even have to ask. The talent is there, the visions are there, and to give somebody else these opportunities constantly to just spring out.
Yeah, to have a structure that's going to be, allow them to really flourish, and the tools that they need to actually bring their visions or anyone's vision to a platform or to a medium that actually is going to be digestible by people and seen.
Yeah.
And felt.
Felt, yes.
Yeah.
Because if you're not feeling it, anything, like that's a big driving force. To go back to an earlier question, is just inspiration is so key. I cannot tell you. I've been on. I hate to say this, but like even in recent times, I have had times where I dipped low of like that drive, and I hated it because I felt like I was always just this enigma of it, but truly going back to source inspirations, whether it's your favorite movies or new movies. One of the disciplines I used to do would be waking up early in the morning, and when you finally give yourself permission and you don't feel like, who cares what anybody's thinking, you know what you're up to, because if you know what works, you go with it. And one of those things was watching movies in the morning and then in the evening. And in the morning, movies that I had seen and loved, I know, and then that would blossom me up for the occasion of the day, and it would just get the gears going in all kinds of ways. And then in the evenings, watching something I've never seen before in my life, and I guess going to sleep with that, like those new dreams and bacons and stuff. But yeah, you generate from that. The inspiration is key for everything, I think.
Stay plugged in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I want to show some of the, just a real mashup of some of the, like I said, the commercials, features, and shorts that you produced, and we actually plugged into the sound. So
And naturally hopped into a lot.
let's get this.
The cool part is I could brag forever about everybody on all of these projects. Doug Jones, one of the nicest people in the world, super generous with his time showing up. Steph Barkley, she's so funny. We make each other giggle when we're doing these, and she's actually the voice too of that orb in the sci-fi original, that right there. So she can do comedy and drama super well. And then yes, Outpost, Han Solo, it's so fun to be able to go out, and I say start there. Start where your inspirations are, Whatever your favorite movies and stuff, I would say just get in there, and to me that made so much sense at the time. I didn't think about it too much, I just kind of did it. But like, just play in the playgrounds, you already love, and then you can branch further out, Yeah, and so funny enough, Manscaped, these commercial brand deals that would come in, eventually I actually got to produce outside of the social medias, if you will, where I was like kind of pushing that stuff out on. And that's when I felt really like, oh, you want me to do what? Oh, nice. To do producing original content. And then I was very spoiled because doing that, with these direct, great connections, I don't know, it's a real treat because I know people who do it on the regular, and I love it, but I would only love it if I got to do it that way, forever on, with just these companies that I love, that had a connect. They already are there interested in wanting to work with you and stuff like that. So, you know, building within network is huge. Also, Raymond at the back, if you don't know, he helms Home Solo, which is this really cool stop motion, just magic of a short where he's got, it's almost like Home Alone meets Star Wars. So he's got the blend of real world and stop motion. Star Wars toys come to life. And folks like that reach out when they start to see your work and your love for those characters. And then being able to join in on the fun with him on voicing all those roles, but then also, now we're here at Comic-Con because of that guy, right there. You know, we wouldn't be here, and so now we're tag teaming, you know, at all these other angles. We've met, Lily in the back right there. She's somebody who's brought these characters into our world. And it's amazing.
This would be a good time to talk a little bit about Happen Productions. So you
Yes.
moved now into a partnership with myself.
Yep.
Happen Productions, and how did that come about?
Well,
And what do we have about? We have about 6 minutes, so then
Let's
we got to
see.
move on to a small announcement.
I'll give the rushed version, very rough. A long time ago, in Galaxy far away. Or I should say at a bar in Toluca Lake, our favorite sipping hole, the best wings ever. It's just amazing place.
Great atmosphere.
Yeah, it's great atmosphere.
This is the short version, though.
Yep, this is it. And well, just one night we were playing around, and like we realized we stoke each other on, and we fill in the blanks with each other on a lot of notes. And so we were just playing and continually just understanding our friendship further, but also each other's minds and play. And we literally created on a whim the idea of like half-in podcast, and it just originated from all kinds of stuff we were spitting up. And we were like, we like that. We kept pulling that back out. And that dance we kept playing and figuring out between each other, we realized that branched out way beyond just us playing on a small way of like a podcast. And everyone's like got a podcast, right? But like, then we started to realize, no man, wow, if we team up, you know, pulling in everything that I've got going on, and this guy, I could brag on him for a while. He's just an arsenal of mind and just, I don't know. We resonate on materials that we both know, that's good, you know, sorry, but that's good shit. And we both want to see more of that.
That goes completely against what my initials say. No growing up here.
Yes.
But yeah, so what we have right now in the pipeline, this is just a few of the things that are coming up. Outpost right there, you saw the proof of concept of was a short film that Jamie just threw together and produced, and has developed into an incredible script and an epic tale, kind of a Lawrence of Arabia meets.
Yeah, and that get further between us. So like I had just done that short previously, but when we started to talk out concepts for a feature, we just started building immediately into worlds that were like that's what would be dope, you know, and it's just gotten to this bigger, just meaningful, I don't know how to say it, it's just without words, something mega that means a lot, especially in the world of sci-fi and thinking about our place and how time and everything. It's just kind of like as big as it gets, kind of a thought of a movie.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for that as it's coming up. It's in pre-production at the moment. Probably won't be until 2027, 2028 till it gets really rolling. But we're just kind of, this is the promotion section.
Yeah.
Yes,
What medium should we look for it on?
that's going to be live action. Oh, where it's going to live?
Yeah, like,
Well,
as big as it can go.
can we expect it in theaters?
I would expect it in theaters. We're gonna expect it as big as we can take it, I think.
Yeah,
Well, I want it in theaters.
so do we.
Done.
We hope that theaters are still going to be around.
I will
but-
make it so.
Make it so. There's also, speaking of where things live, Mythicide is a partner of ours. They're a burgeoning science fiction and
Super cool.
and fantasy platform, but streaming platform, independent streaming platform. And they are dead focused on story before anything else as the paramount value that they're looking at. And they have a completely transparent structure, not like all these hidden stats that we see on Netflix or don't see on Netflix,
Yep.
things like that. Totally transparent, totally creator-centric model. That's going to really bring some of the incredible talent out of the woodwork, and
You guys
give
can
it
get
a
on their
place for it
mailing
to live.
list. Yeah, like today. Like
We
you
would
can
say,
go check it out.
Go
Get-
check it out. You can sign up so when everything launches. They actually have Outposts right now. We've given that to them. They have incredible partnerships with some of the most creative people that we know and some of the most incredible areas to film, especially for fantasy.
Fantasy and sci-fi,
so
if
it's
you're
incredible.
interested in those departments, this is where you can expect original streaming of those types of short form.
Really quality stuff.
Yeah.
It's a little bit like Dust, if you're familiar with that, but its own independent structure, and it's not going to live on YouTube and things like that. And
Right.
it's a very different structure. So check out Mythicide. It really is going to be cool. Great people and incredible ethos, and we love those guys. And then these guys right here. You can expect these guys. These are in pre-production right now. So these are, this project is in pre-production. This is going to be a stop-motion animation television show for kids. These rambunctious little cactuses are going to all be on screen with an incredible music element that we're just incredibly excited about, and the artists are behind you here if you're interested at all in chatting with them. We're also going to have throughout the entire development of this project a behind-the-scenes kind of how it's made series. So every week you're going to see like what goes into actual stop motion, the true artistry behind it, the time that it takes to move every little thing and to really create something that's tangible and real instead of AI produced these days. And so we really think that that's going to be something that people are going to love. The music is fantastic. It's all real instruments made by real people.
Yeah.
And just the characters themselves are going to so resonate in a desert environment. I'll stop talking about it, but really keep an eye out for that. We're incredibly excited about it. Now, the last thing we're going to plug here is the Great American Voice Rally. It's a working title. What we've got there, and actually the second to last thing, let's quickly say Halfway Handsome
Oh, yeah.
is also something that's coming out very soon, post-production. This is a sketch TV series. I'll let you tell you.
Yeah, this is fun. I actually got to act in another series with a couple friends, Matt, JJ, Josh. Anyways, I just saw that was such a fun time on that series, and we played very well. And then I said, well, listen, guys, I think we should get together and do a bit of a sketch comedy show that's Key and Peele meets Tim Robinson's. I think you should leave, kind of like that kind of meets us. And they were super down, and so yeah, pulled the trigger on that. And now that we've got a pilot now that we're shopping into, we're gonna have some rollouts of that soon. But we're really excited about that because I don't know, there's a real fun heartbeat there and a place for. I selfishly always wanted to have like a place to play. I love chasing the drama. I love getting serious. I love all the. I just have a broad range of just appetite. But I love comedy. I love when I get to play in those worlds. And then if you're finding your crew that you can play well with, it's just a good time. I just always wanted to have that for the rest of the time. So yeah, you can expect some good times with Halfway Handsome.
Yeah. Now, the last thing is the announcement that I was teasing before. So let's get this show on the road. This Great American Voice Rally is actually something where you can all participate, just through Twitter or through Instagram. If you're interested in voiceover or impressions.
Yes.
What did I say?
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok and Instagram.
TikTok
for
and
sure.
Instagram. So we're going to start by curating just from everyday people. There's so much talent out on the internet. There are people doing impressions, people doing, well, mainly impressions. That's probably the majority, but doing their own videos and things like that. If they'd like to get into the voice acting space, this is going to look like a voice acting competition where you're going to do competing on different aspects of actual voice acting. So actually creating a character, doing ADR work, the difference in video game work, and all the different components. And there's going to be a set of judges that are all voice actors. But to get to that point, we're going to start with just a curation of submittals. So everybody can submit. We're going to have industry professionals going through all those. And if you get on the show, it's going to be a long lead-up show to 3-episode series. And it's a lot like, America's Got Talent, but for voice acting. It's going to be really fun.
Really
So stay
cool
tuned
level
on
ups
that.
too. Like you get like hooked up with Rode microphones
Yes.
at one stage. Final stages, we have incentivizations for you to meet one of the top tier voice agents in the industry. So it's almost the most tangible. I mean, don't let the secret out. But this is like, if you wanted to get into it, this is one of the most possible routes.
If you or anyone you know is interested in voice acting or getting into that realm where they want to voice act on video games or in any capacity, this is a real, actual, tangible way to get your foot in the door, talk to a real Hollywood agent, and get
gear,
completely
too.
set up from Rode. Rode is the presenting sponsor of the entire show. They're also providing gear. We actually were able to give, we did a kids panel earlier today where we were able to bring some kids up to do a little voice acting with Jamie, and we were able to give them all microphones, which was very cool. But a full Rode setup.
And if
for-
you look under your chair now, no, I'm just kidding.
We ran out.
You find one.
We gave them to the children, okay? But anyway, I think that's about all we've got here. I think we're a little over time.
Yeah.
But nobody's beating down the doors.
So if you guys have
If you
any questions, yeah. Well, yeah, Mike.
Okay, so when you're doing your voices, how much does making the faces affect your voice? Because, like, before you did Matthew McConaughey up here, I could see it coming.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh my God, that's Matthew. So, and watching your video, like, some of your voices, like, holy shit, that's him. Like, you got that Jim Carrey chameleon thing going on.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like a contortion kind of thing that my mind almost, it helps it, I suppose. I never think, all right, do Gandalf's look, and now I'll do his voice. You know, like, it's more like, here we go. So, like, I don't know. I really don't have a great answer, but I know that it helps me to not feel like I can't do that.
Practice the faces in the mirror.
Oh, there was a time, I would say, that looking back at how I looked on Vine, I thought, now I don't. And that's the best place to be as an actor, when you're not worried about your hair. You just go in there and you just, doesn't matter if you're doing Jack Nicholson or not, you get crazy enough, you're gonna do it pretty darn good. Yeah. Oh, Cacti Kids?
I'm glad you asked.
That's a good question.
Well, we're gonna be very soon, and keep with us to stay posted, but very soon we're gonna be opening a YouTube channel to show the actual development of the show.
Yeah, so you'll
the
get
lead
a
up-
good gauge of like when and how long it takes. So that's the beauty of stop motion.
You can stay involved in the show. We're gonna have regular updates and see how it's actually made. Watch these characters come to life. And but it takes a long time with stop motion because it's real artistry. So we're gonna document that whole journey, and then when that releases, you can be a part of it too. There's gonna be a lot of opportunities to be
Yes.
involved.
Definitely worthwhile.
Yeah, so stay posted. Follow us on Instagram, and we'll figure out how to direct you to the YouTube.
All right, two quick questions. One, I think it might have been answered already, but since you're not, is there any voice acting guidance? I would love to get a head start on something.
Any voice actor? What? Sorry.
I would say your best route is, that's what we're excited for too, is like, so this whole opportunity with the whole contest thing, that's, I think, your best chances as well. For not only starting the voice work stuff, but just getting your route in. I think that would be my recommendation, because then you can stay in touch and you can actually have like a good chance at like getting seen and exposures as well along the way, so you never know. You could get cherry picked from somewhere else to say, hey, I like the way that guy did that character, you know, like I really think that's cool.
Yeah. What's a
I'm sorry. Did you appear in a TV show before? You appeared in a TV show before, right? You didn't Not TV.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
No, I have not.
No.
No. I just have one of those. Yeah.
This is actually Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes.
He's really
I'm
going
really
at
committed.
he's pulling his next stunt.
But I'm not gonna break character. And I was gonna say that just to follow up on your question, and to reiterate a little bit of what Jamie said, but winning these kinds of contests isn't always
only route.
only route. It's
Yeah.
not always the goal. It's getting out and meeting the people who are involved in the industry, making an impact, because, you know, somebody has to win. It doesn't mean everybody isn't great, and we know that from watching, you know, American Idol. And there's a lot of amazing singers. There's a place for them. So getting out and doing it and, you know, getting into the mix is the best way to, you know, maximize your opportunity.
And constantly, yes, constantly studying the things you love. There's a lot of people that have reached out before. They're like, how do I get in? You know, all these things. And I always, you know, kind of get a question on them of like, what do you want in for? You know, what would you want out of it? And if like fame and money and all that stuff come into play, I'm like, trust me, kid, you don't want it. You know, like maybe the money part, but for the most part, like it's like, what do you want to get out of it? You want to have a place to get to do, you know, the artistries, the basically the love. You can always be working on that, and so like digestion, I would say, of anything that you love is a great place to start and continue, even no matter where you are in this in career, I would say. But also, if you lock it in and you go, hey, and if you just feel it, you know, you feel like that's what I love. I love doing that. You get at least enough spark from somewhere else that you want to carry that spark further yourself. So figuring out where to get your spark from, and usually if you have enough spark, you'll start to know your next avenues even from there. Yeah. Cool, guys. Thanks for showing up. This is really fun for us.
If you want, I have some more videos that we had to skip because I made the videos way too long. So sorry about that. I'm happy to plan for you.
Would you like to do, You Never Heard It Like Me, from the original Aladdin?
Would I like to do it?
Like a karaoke.
There's funny enough you say that. I did have one time when I did the karaoke for that, and don't get me wrong, I had a few drinks in me at that time. But it was a friend's birthday party, and I was like, this is kind of raw. Like, this is kind of cool to like do that for the first time. But you learn real quick. It is fun to kind of like play around in your room, even sometimes when the songs come on.
Would you like to see me try to do it?
No.
Oh,
Yes.
See, my man right here knows how to get his name out.
Yes,
He's
he does.
going for it.
Let's hear it.
Let's see. I know, Mr. Aladdin, sir, can you do a 3? Yeah, something is starting to see. I never had a friend like me. Can your friend do this? Can your friend do that? Something like this, longer than mine. You can see I haven't watched the film in a long time, but I do know. I'm trying to.
Hey, I say give it a shot. That's always a big step, man.
Big step. Would you mind if we posted that?
Yes, but can I do one more thing?
Absolutely.
I mean, there are no rules.
I do not mind. Alright. You ain't
We will
never-
tag you, by the way.
Huh?
We will tag you.
Thank you.
He doesn't have any.
I do have something.
Oh.
I can.
Well,
She's like, trust
we'll
me.
email.
There is no.
You can tag me.
Yeah, tag
Okay, you got
her.
it.
Cause you ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never, ever had friend me.
There he goes.
Yeah, come on.
Never lose that
You
energy.
ain't never had a friend like me.
Nice, dude. I think we're all inspired.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love it.
Cool, brother. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Good luck.
I meant it. Thank you.
All right, I think that's our call.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again.
Can I have that video?
Yeah, so the toys that are being sold right now, that's me. And then also Hasbro, their line of their Yoda, like,
It's just
yeah. Yeah.
Actually, I was gonna come over to you
No
and ask
way,
you,
that's so
gee,
cool.
where did you get this? Is it from Amazon?
No, I
Or is
bought
it from
this.
Rogue?
No, I bought this at when Sony had stores. It's a Sony product, so it's called a monopod. Yeah.
Okay, a small rig.
Yeah.
Thank you.